and you're listening to WICR.
All right, we are back, and now it's time to look ahead. Week 3 is upon us in the NFL. Tough game last night to watch. I think if you're just a football fan in general, but especially being a Tampa Bay Bucks fan, 56-14 loss to the Atlanta Falcons. The Falcons just looked so good pounding the ball last night. Matt Ryan, phenomenal, 24-14, 286 yards, 3 touchdowns. Such a tough game to watch, though.
Yeah, you got to feel for the Bucks there, but history being made last night. Devin Hester, 20th career return touchdown passing Deion Sanders. For the record, tough, but yeah, really tough game in general.
Definitely watching Hester was certainly the best part of the game last night. I mean, it wasn't the competitive nature of the game. 21-0 after the first quarter, 35-0 at halftime, 56-0 after the third. I mean, just... But Hester, I'm a huge fan of Hester. Loved him with the Bears. I'd forgotten that he got picked up by the Falcons. So that, it was like, oh, wow, yeah, there's Devin Hester. Mm-hmm. But, great to watch that. And I think he definitely is the best return man in NFL history.
Yeah, I mean, with the record, almost no arguments now, really, but I agree.
Right. But one interesting thing to look at from last night's game, turnovers. 5-4. Not a clean game.
Yeah, no, not really what you'd expect from a 56-14 outcome.
Right. The 5 from the Bucks you might expect, but the Falcons turned the ball over 4 times and still scored 56 points. That's something that it seemed like every possession either ended in a turnover or a touchdown.
Right. We had that one play last night where Matt Ryan had thrown the interception to, I believe, Mark Barron. Hester knocked it out and recovered it, so you kind of couldn't maybe negate those turnovers there, but but still, definitely not what you'd expect from a 56-14 game. Really sloppy. Sloppy.
No. But anyway, hopefully there'll be some not as sloppy games this week in the NFL. And you know what? Let's jump right into the upcoming schedule. Gotta start it off with, my Bucks lost, so I'm gonna need to salvage this week with the Patriots hosting the Raiders. The Raiders terrible on the East Coast at 1:00. I'm expecting a big win from the Patriots. I wouldn't mind if they won 56-14. Then I kind of even out this week.
Yeah, I mean, coming off that dominant performance against the Vikings last week, I wouldn't really expect anything less from the Patriots this week.
Hey, nobody's hoping for it more than I am. But anyway, let's since we're talking about we'll get to Jack's Jets later because they're on Monday night. But anyway, sticking with 1:00 games, Bills hosting the Chargers. The Bills 2-0, a little bit of a surprise at 2-0. I would certainly say Chargers 1-1, but coming off of that win against Seattle, and now a West Coast team again playing 1:00 on the East Coast. I think the Chargers are just better than the Bills, and I see them taking this game.
Yeah, I think Chargers more talented, but coming from the West Coast, maybe, like you said, these West Coast 1:00 games seem to be screwing with the teams, and they're coming into Buffalo where it's been cold this whole week. I think it's going to be cold up there. It might affect the Chargers. I got the Bills going 3-0.
Wow, okay. All right, then people are going to start questioning, are the Bills legit? And then, they'll finish 8-8 like they usually do. So, no. Cowboys at Rams, that's going to be an interesting matchup. Definitely, I think that the matchup to watch here will be the Cowboys offensive line going up against the Rams defensive line. I'm taking the Cowboys on the road.
Yeah, I got the Cowboys on the road too there. It's I got, even with the Rams defensive line being so good, I'm not sure that that's gonna have too much of an effect on this game.
Eagles hosting the Redskins. Good division matchup here. Redskins coming off of their big win over the Jaguars. I mean, yes, it was against the Jaguars, but they really put up a lot of points. And the Eagles 2-0 coming off of their Monday Night Football comeback win against the Colts. Jack, both of these teams had impressive victories last week. Who's going to come away with an impressive victory this week?
As good of a game this is going to be, I'm going to take the Eagles. That high-powered offense, I don't see the Redskins defense stopping them, but it's going to be a lot of fun. Watching Kirk Cousins play this week.
Yeah, I'm buying into Cousins. I think he is the way the Redskins need to go. I know RG3 is can light it up, but he's such a concern for injuries that, you know, and Cousins, whenever he gets into a game, he seems to do very well for himself. So, but you have to go Eagles. They just put up too many points too fast. Texans at the Giants. The Texans 2-0. The Giants 0-2. These teams went pretty much in opposite directions last year. The Texans started 2-0 and then finished 2-14. The Giants started, I think,
0-6.
0-6
Yep.
and finished 7-9.
Yep.
So 7-3 in their last 10. But anyway, they've kind of started just like they did last year, and at MetLife Stadium, who do you see?
Giants. I think the Giants will get their first win of the season. Texans playing well, but I just think Eli Manning's not going to let his team start the season like they did last year. I got the Giants.
I'm buying into the Texans. You know, I think that they are a good team, and they are not going to have. They're not going to let it happen where they start 2-0 and then it all unravels. And they're going to move to 3-0. Giants 0-3. The Giants have not looked impressive at all. And the Texans, hey, you know, they've put up 2 wins together. So gotta go Texans there. Vikings and Saints at the Superdome. No Adrian Peterson. This one could be ugly.
Yeah, it was ugly last weekend for the Vikings. Got to predict the same exact thing, really. Going into the Superdome, too, I think the Saints take control of this game early and don't let go.
Yeah, that's not too nice for the Vikings. First 2 games without Adrian Peterson, going up against Tom Brady and then Drew Brees. So, I completely agree. Very tough game for the Vikings, and the Saints finally get their first win of the year. Titans. The Tennessee Titans are going to Cincinnati to play the Bengals. I gotta go with the Bengals. They're a good team. Been to the playoffs the last 3 years, and the Titans haven't gotten anywhere. So I'm going Bengals.
Yep, definitely same. Bengals at home too.
Ravens Browns in Cleveland. This is a really good matchup.
Yeah, good division matchup here. Gonna see if Brian Hoyer can continue the magic from last week. I think as bad as I want to see the Browns win, I think the Ravens take this game. Joe Flacco is gonna play well in Cleveland this week.
I'm buying into the Browns. They're gonna be 2-1. Brian Hoyer, I am not at all impressed with the Ravens, and I think that the Ravens had their big emotional win last week when they matched up and really took it to the Pittsburgh Steelers in the wake of the Ray Rice scandal. And this is their letdown game. And, you know, I actually could see this getting pretty ugly. I think that not so much that the Browns are that phenomenal. I'm not saying that. But I think that the Ravens just need a big letdown game. And the Browns, you know, they're a team that can do that, and look at the Browns winning this one. I that's one of the picks that I'm most confident about this week. Speaking of picks that I'm most confident about, Colts at Jaguars, a matchup of 2 0-2 teams. I think a lot of people were expecting the Jaguars to be 0-2. The Colts, if they were going to have a 2 and a 0 on their record, have them reversed. Colts easily.
Yeah, Colts easily. I mean, the Jaguars can't seem to put a full game together still. Maybe they will this week, but that doesn't equal a win for them still.
No. And speaking of division matchups, good division matchups, we got another good one here. Packers and Lions, both 1-1 in Detroit. I could see this one going either way. A matchup of two really good wide receivers who have really poured it on so far this year, Jordy Nelson and Calvin Johnson. Jack, who do you see taking this one?
I have the Lions, and not so much a surprise win, but I think the Lions will take this one. Like you said, great matchup, two great receivers, different ends of the spectrum, definitely. Jordy Nelson more of a slot guy, Calvin Johnson being Megatron, the huge receiver. But I want to take the Lions this week.
You know, as tempting as that is, they are at home. I think that the Lions just find ways to lose, and the Packers, Aaron Rodgers and Mike McCarthy, they're just like a solid football team. I'm going Packers here. Another division matchup that has a lot of intrigue is the 49ers visiting the Arizona Cardinals. The Cardinals are 2-0. The 49ers 1-1, coming off of their surprising, just giving the game away to the Bears on Sunday Night Football. I'm expecting big from the 49ers, and both teams are going to be 2-1 after this game.
Yeah, I agree. Coming off that loss, the home opener, I don't see the 49ers losing this game.
Chiefs and Dolphins. Chiefs 0-2, Dolphins 1-1. I think the Chiefs finally get their first win of the year.
Yeah, even in Miami, I got the Chiefs. I mean, don't be surprised if the Dolphins pull this one out with the way the Chiefs defense has taken these injuries this year. But yeah, Chiefs in Miami.
Now the final day game of Sunday before we get to the primetime game Sunday and Monday nights, a Super Bowl rematch. We have the Denver Broncos visiting CenturyLink Field and the Seattle Seahawks. I'm excited about this. Jack, who do you see coming away with this in Super Bowl 48.2?
Yeah, Super Bowl 48 Act 2. No difference. I got the Seahawks in Seattle, coming off a tough loss against the Chargers last week. I definitely got Seattle, but it's going to be a fun game to watch. I think it'll be a lot more competitive than the Super Bowl was last year.
I'm also going Seattle. I think that what you got to think about it is Seattle made MetLife Stadium almost seem like CenturyLink Field in the Super Bowl, where the Broncos offense just looked totally disheveled and not knowing what to do, as evidenced by the first snap with the safety. And that wasn't at CenturyLink Field. I think that with the factor of the 12th man, Seattle is just too tough to beat. Definitely a lot closer than the Super Bowl, as you said, but same result, and Seahawks moved to 2-1. Now going primetime Sunday night, Steelers at Panthers. Cam Newton primetime. I'm letting you get, or no, you know what? I'll take this, and then I'll let you get first crack with your Jets game on Monday night. I'm taking Carolina. I think that the Steelers are just like an average team, and the Panthers are good, and I'm buying into Cam.
I took the Panthers last week. I'm going with the Steelers this week on primetime. Like we talked about earlier, coming off that tough loss against the Ravens. That was a Thursday night game that had a lot of time to prepare for this one, a lot of rest. I got the Steelers in Carolina taking this one.
Really? Wow. Okay. Look for Greg Olsen having a big game. I am really buying into Greg Olsen this year. And anyway, now moving to the last game of the week, Monday Night Football. The Chicago Bears coming to MetLife Stadium for a matchup with Jack's Jets. Jack, where are you going here? I could take a guess.
Yeah, your guess is most definitely right. I'm going with the Jets at home, coming off a tough loss last week. Bears definitely, I would say, had the momentum coming off a great win against the 49ers, but I'm going with the Jets. Jets defense holds off the Bears.
I'm buying into the Bears. Second week in a row they're on prime time, and second week in a row they're going to get a win in prime time. I got to go Chicago. I just don't think the Jets are that good. Chicago's a decent team, so Bears take this one. Well, that is all that we have time for today. Another great show with Jack, and everyone, thank you for listening. We will be right back here next week for some more sports talk.
WICR presents another great New York sports moment.
July 9th, 2011. Yankee captain Derek Jeter goes 5 for 5 en route to recording his 3,000th hit